Once there was only one banner that mattered. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Under it, Arabs and non-Arabs, blacks and whites, rich and poor, stood shoulder to shoulder in the rows of salah, bled side by side on the battlefield, and fed each other in hunger. This unity, the Ummah, was the heartbeat of Islam. But today, that heart bleeds from 1,000 self-inflicted wounds. Why? Because nationalities have destroyed humanity. And most of all, they have shattered the Ummah. Look around. We no longer see a Muslim brother. We see an Irani, an Iraqi, a Pakistani, an Afghan, a Turk, a Saudi, a Syrian, a Yemeni. These are the labels they gave us, drawn in ink by colonial pens and sealed in blood by Muslim hands. And we embraced them like chains, wearing them with pride, even as they suffocated the soul of our unity. Remember the Iran-Iraq War? 8 years of carnage, over 1 million lives lost. What did the world call it? A war between Iranis and Iraqis. But no, it was Muslims killing Muslims in the name of nationalism. It was Hussein and Hassan raising swords against each other, while the enemies of Islam sold them the weapons. Look at the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, carved by foreign hands, but guarded by brothers turned into strangers. Or the tension between Indian and Pakistani Muslims, where those who face the same Qibla are separated by hatred fueled by flags. In the Middle East, Muslim lands burn, Syria, Yemen, Libya, not because of a lack of faith, but because their loyalty to their nation has become stronger than their loyalty to the Ummah. We say, 20 Saudis killed in a drone strike, 15 Iraqis dead in a bombing, dozens of Palestinians martyred. But these aren't just numbers. These aren't national statistics. These are Muslims, members of the same Ummah, dying in silence, often at the hands of other Muslims. How did we get here? Because nationalism taught us to love artificial borders more than divine unity. It taught us to cry for our fellow citizens, but turn blind to the screams of Muslims across the border. It told us that your people are only those who share your passport, not your prayer, not your prophet. Islam united the hearts. Nationalism tore them apart. And the enemies of Islam, they didn't need to conquer us. They simply handed us the flag and watched as we conquered ourselves. This is the betrayal of our time, that we allowed nationality to eclipse the Ummah, and in doing so, we handed the sword to our enemies and pointed it at our own brothers. The poison of division didn't stop at borders. It seeped into hearts, turning Muslims into strangers among themselves. In the Indian subcontinent, this sickness took the form of caste, an un-Islamic hierarchy inherited from Hindu society, but shamefully preserved by Muslims. Pathan, Punjabi, Rajput, Gujar, Aryan, Mochi. These aren't identities anymore. They're walls, prisons, stains on a soul that says, La ilaha illallah. They pray in the same mosques, fast the same Ramadan, say the same Shahada. But when it comes to marriage, to social equality, to respect, suddenly they are low caste. Suddenly they're not good enough. Where in the Qur'an does Allah say a Rajput is better than an Aryan? Where did the Prophet, peace be upon him, say that Mochi's daughters can't marry a Chaudhry's sons? He didn't. In fact, he smashed this filth. There is no superiority of an Arab over a non-Arab, or a white over a black, except in taqwa. Hadith Musnad Ahmad. But today, Muslims have reconstructed the Jahiliyyah, ignorance, the Prophet came to destroy. It's not nationalism now, it's micro-nationalism, tribalism within one Ummah, fragmentation within the fragments. We cry over Palestine, we raise slogans of Muslim brotherhood, but wouldn't let our daughter marry a Muslim man from another caste. This hypocrisy is why the Ummah bleeds. This pride is why Allah has humiliated us. Not because of enemies, but because we have become enemies to each other. When the Qur'an spoke, the Ummah was one, until we stopped listening. While we divided ourselves with arrogance, the Qur'an stood, unchanged, calling us to unity, declaring again and again what we refuse to hear. Indeed, this Ummah of yours is one Ummah, and I am your Lord. Surah Al-Anbiya, Ayah 92. One Ummah, not divided by passports, not separated by flags, not shattered by ethnicity, language, or border. One. But today, we disobeyed. We chose race over brotherhood. We chose nationalism over revelation. We built walls where Allah commanded unity. And so the world burns, not because the Qur'an failed, but because we abandoned it. And hold firmly to the rope of Allah altogether, and do not become divided. Surah Ali Imran Ayah 103. That rope was the Qur'an. That command was clear, all together. Not Pakistanis here, not Iraqis there, not Arabs above non-Arabs, but one rope, one Ummah, one loyalty to Allah alone. But we let go. We grabbed instead the ropes of tribal pride, national anthems, colonial borders, and in doing so, we let Shaitan twist our unity into civil war. O mankind, we created you from a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, so that you may know one another, not that you may despise one another. Verily, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Surah Al-Hujurat, Ayah 13. Allah acknowledged our differences. He created them, but not for pride, not for passports, not for tanks and missiles. Only to know one another, to marvel at the beauty of Allah's creation. And He declared, loud and clear, Taqwa is the only true nobility. Not Arab blood, not Turkish empire, not Afghan bravery. Taqwa. The believers are but brothers. Surah Al-Hujurat, Ayah 10. Brothers, not neighbors, not strategic allies, not trade partners. Brothers, bound by Allah, not by diplomacy. But today, we sign treaties against each other. We spy on each other. We bomb each other. And we dare to recite this verse as if we still deserve it. And do not be like those who became divided and differed after clear proofs had come to them. Surah Ali Imran Ayah 105. That's us. We are the people Allah warned about. We were given the Qur'an, a complete, perfect constitution, but we chose man-made constitutions instead. We were given the Prophet, a leader of all time, but we replaced him with kings and parliaments, generals and presidents. We were warned. And now we live the consequences. A bleeding ummah, a broken body, a house divided against itself. The verdict of the Qur'an. The Qur'an does not recognize your nationality. It doesn't salute your flag. It doesn't care about your ethnicity. It asks, do you believe in Allah? Do you obey His messenger? Do you honor your brothers, regardless of race, wealth, or nation? That is the only identity that will matter on the day of judgment. On that day, friends will be enemies to one another, except the righteous. Surah Az-Zukhruf, Ayah 67. So on that day, your fellow countrymen won't defend you. Your government won't come to save you. Your caste, your clan, your ethnic pride, all will turn against you. Only your taqwa, your loyalty to Allah and His Ummah, will remain.